and not a single portion of this program is pre-recorded. Portions of this program have been pre-recorded. No, we're live.
And any publication,
reproduction, other use,
the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this
weathercast, without the express written consent of somebody,
yes,
is, well, I don't know that it's prohibited, but go ahead, share whatever you want.
It's been a while that we haven't been on since
right.
Thursday.
So, let's see. There I am.
There you are.
Joe Chaffee, Fios One News Long Island and Fios One News New Jersey. And on the other side of the ball is
Joe Rayo.
Wait a minute, you got to let me
all right.
bring it over.
All right.
There you go.
Whoops, there I am. Joe Rayo, Fios One News, Lower Hudson Valley.
All right, so let's get rid of the opening globe. Boing, boing. So we'll keep it up here.
That hurts.
All right, so having a little fun here on this relatively calm and quiet Tuesday, although we have this little upper air disturbance thing that's going over, coming out of Pennsylvania, going over northern New Jersey and Long Island with just a smidge of light rain. And then I think you and I both agree that tomorrow, once we get past, say, 6 or 7 o'clock, it should break out pretty much wide open, and we'll have a really good-looking Wednesday. Actually, today was almost cloud-free for much of the day.
The only drawback about today was that it still was very windy, especially early today. But tomorrow, I've nominated tomorrow as the pick of the week.
That you have.
So there you go, Wednesday. And the kids, for the most part, most of the kids are out from school because of the upcoming Easter and Passover holidays. So the kids are out, and if you can manage somehow to wangle a day off tomorrow, because it doesn't look all that great weather-wise after tomorrow, Joe, unfortunately, on into the upcoming holiday weekend.
No, we're going to have to deal with warm fronts, low clouds, ocean flow, and then what looks to me, Joe, like we're going to have probably a good windswept, soaking round of downpours and maybe even a couple of thunderstorms Friday night into Saturday morning with this storm up the Appalachians and the front kind of sweeping up the East Coast.
This sounds like a very familiar script. Didn't we go through this on Sunday night, Monday morning? But
this time around, the setup's a little different. This actually, in some ways, is more dynamic than what we just went through.
Right.
But for possibly different reasons and for different areas. So let's get into this thing.
And if you take note of the fact that last week we had mentioned, or you had alluded to, that as of day 5 days out, the Storm Prediction Center had covered an entire block of the southeastern states with the potential for severe weather. But as we got closer and closer, that area kept getting wider and more extensive and moving further north until finally, by the time we got to Sunday evening, all of a sudden we were involved with potential strong to severe.
Well, I just happened to have all the SPC's maps, and starting tomorrow, this is going to be a very, very slow-moving weather system. It's going to take 3 days for it to get across the U.S., which is good and bad because it's good because it gives us a little extra time, but it's not so good because once it gets in here, it's going to take a little while for it to get out of the way, and it could impact both weekend days to some extent, although I think lesser for Easter Sunday than certainly for Saturday. But here we have the severe weather risk for Wednesday across the southern plains and into the middle Mississippi Valley on up into the Great Lakes. This is their day 2 forecast. Their day 3 forecast, and they've already expanded this. Yesterday all they had was a slight risk. Now they've got the slight risk, which they've pushed further north, and an enhanced risk in southeastern Louisiana. Mm-hmm. And on the day 4, which was yesterday's day 5 and the day before is day 6, we have this.
Right.
The 15% area is what they would consider slight risk from the central Florida all the way up to Maryland and southern and the southern part of the Delmarva Peninsula. Now, this is where they have the slight risk. So let's say if it were to remain the same, it probably means that we could draw a marginal risk from the Florida Panhandle through eastern Tennessee, maybe across northern West Virginia to about Pittsburgh, and then I think I would probably maybe pull it up to southern New England, the Hudson Valley, south of Route 84, somewhere in there.
Right.
So we may actually find ourselves tomorrow, when this becomes the day 3, we'll see where they put the marginal risk, and they might have us in marginal. They may push the slight risk up a bit further to the north.
I have a feeling that's going to be the case. As was the case on late last week into the weekend, we just saw more and more that the area, the thought processes that were thinking about the possibility of severe weather just kept getting more and more suggestive that our area would be in it, and we were in it Sunday night into early Monday, so much so that we ended up in a tornado watch, and of all times, in the early morning pre-dawn hours, which, again, is really kind of weird.
Yeah.
And it was April. It wasn't, a prime time month for this, but we could see a repeat performance, perhaps Friday night.
I also think Friday night into Saturday morning, especially for along the New Jersey coast, and particularly for Long Island, I think it could get, regardless of severe weather, I think it could get quite windy. With a south wind.
Oh, yeah.
I think it could be 30, 35, or 40 miles an hour from the south, with this front coming in and the really tight pressure gradient that's going to develop. But let's start off with tonight, because we've got this, this weak frontal boundary that's setting. This is actually, Joe, it's setting the table up for the system for the weekend, because this frontal boundary goes all the way back into lower pressures that are starting to organize back through the Rockies and Plains. That's where this thing is all going to come out. So we've got this front that eventually is going to settle to our south and then start to haunt us as a warm front tomorrow night and Thursday. And there's a little bit of rain, but it's coming into what we have, which is a ton of dry air. So it looks like most of this should fall apart. Some of it might hold up during the early morning hours. I covered for a little bit of light rain or a couple of spot showers in northern New Jersey for parts of Long Island, maybe southern Connecticut, southern Westchester County. I don't think it amounts to very much. And regardless, by tomorrow morning, I think we'll probably go partly to mostly sunny very quickly.
I think so. In fact, I think we'll be in a clearing by daybreak, if not maybe a little sooner. And when many wake up, it will be bright, it will be sunny, and we're looking for a great day all around. Depending upon where you are, at least in the lower Hudson Valley, the lower end of Westchester, especially down by the Sound Shore, you may make it up to the upper 50s to around 60, but as you go inland, low 60s, mid 60s, and well inland, could even be in the upper 60s to near 70 degrees tomorrow afternoon.
So I pulled, this is the simulated satellite off the NAM model, so we can show you what's going to happen tomorrow over us. So these clouds, the system just kind of thins out. The cloud line actually shifts. This is tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. The cloud line actually shifts southward into southern New Jersey, southeastern Pennsylvania, Delaware, and Maryland. So we're going to be partly to mostly sunny. I'm kind of saying from 195 in New Jersey north and northeast should be a really nice day. South and west of there, clouds are going to be an issue for a while. And then eventually, Joe, tomorrow night, now we start to get the warm front coming back the other way. So we get into clouds, and I'm thinking maybe we could even see a little bit of spotty light rain during the early morning hours going into Thursday.
Right.
And then the question is, that warm front on Thursday, does it make it far enough north? And Thursday, I think it could be the reverse. South of 195, it could break out into some sunshine and temperatures will climb into the 70s. And north of there, we could be sitting in low clouds and 50s all day until the front finally gets through.
Right. We'll probably see on Friday the front will be to our north. Everybody will have the front to their north, the warm front. And then it will be a matter of just tracking what happens with the approaching cold front. And that cold front... Now, we had a cold front approaching, if you recall, on Sunday, but we really didn't see all that much. We had some very spotty light rain, and it really wasn't until the actual front was at our doorstep before sunrise on Monday morning that we had this narrow, albeit very intense line of convection, thunderstorms, and again, the Storm Prediction Center putting up the red flag for possibly even an isolated tornado.
Right.
And that could very well happen again late Friday night into early Saturday morning of this upcoming weekend.
Well, here's the situation here with this low coming eastward. It is this of all of the last three systems, the one from the Plains blizzard, the one from this weekend, and this one. This one is the one that's furthest to the east. And what's a little different with this one, Joe, is the fact that the front is actually going to be sweeping in from the southwest more than it is coming in from the west. Mm. The low forms in the central Appalachians and moves basically northward. So you got this arm of downpours and thunderstorms. And by the way, look how tight that gradient is with the big high out in the Atlantic.
Now I can see now why you want the gusty winds for coastal areas on.
Yeah, I think we could really blow away for a few hours anyway. And then the front comes through. So one of the things I looked at earlier today, I showed this on my YouTube show. When you watch before we even do this, let me bring up the upper air just to show you how how vigorous this upper low is. The northern part and the southern part of the jet stream are phasing, and then the whole trough just kind of drops down into the Appalachians and really gets wrapped up. And after Saturday afternoon, it starts to weaken fairly quickly as it lifts up into southeastern Canada. So that might, argue for a little bit of improvement on Sunday. Not a whole lot, but some. But while it's in this position like this, what's interesting is, watch these dew points. Let's talk about the front coming in from the southwest.
Right.
All right, so we go into Friday and Friday night. Your dew points climb up into the 60s. So here we are, 2 a.m. Friday, 7 a.m. Friday, 1 p.m. The dry air is actually coming down and around from the south and from the southwest.
Right.
So, it's a little bit of I guess it's a bit of an oddball situation in that we didn't see any storm like this kind of track with a wrapped up upper low during the wintertime to our west. I'll be curious to see how this plays. But the wind is, take a look at the 10-meter wind. This is for, I'll get close up. So this is for Saturday morning.
Like funneling right up into the coastal plain of New Jersey and
right
south
there.
of Long Island.
Yeah, this is Saturday morning. So Friday night, actually even during the day Friday, late Friday afternoon, the southerly wind's going to really pick up, and it goes south. It actually goes south-southeast here. You got those just sustained winds of 35 to 40 miles an hour off the New Jersey coast and off the south shore of Long Island. Might be some gusts up close to 50 with that along the coast.
The triple point seems to be, that's the part where we have the cold front, the warm front, and the occluded front going back to the low pressure system. That seems to be just to our west with this pivoting up past us rapidly during the early part of the day on Saturday.
Rain amounts, they're a bit tricky, Joe. The rain amounts are a bit tricky because it looks like there's a shot that moves over Long Island and southern New England, then it kind of like a little dry patch there over New Jersey, and then the real heavy rain is going to be close to the track of the upper low and the surface low, and that's why you have that stripe of 2, 3, 4 inches up through Virginia and eastern Pennsylvania. But this could kind of adjust a little bit over the next couple of days. Bottom line is, Passover Friday night, rain will probably be arriving at some point. I'll check how the NAM handles it. Actually, the NAM kind of, has some showers coming in, but really the main area looks like it would be after midnight and lasting till about midday Saturday. That's as far as it goes.
84 hour, right?
Yeah, because
how about the 3-meter?
3-meter only goes out 60 hours.
Oh, well.
So that doesn't really help. This is Thursday night, and the precip's still well to the west. But one of the things that we could see on the 3-kilometer NAM is the severe weather that's going to occur on the 2 risk areas for for Wednesday and Thursday, because it's got a pretty wrapped up squall line here late Wednesday night, early Thursday morning, and then a new one forms moving into Mississippi, Alabama, and this is as far as it goes, which is 2 a.m. Friday morning.
I was very impressed by the performance of the 3-kilometer NAM on Sunday afternoon for the squall line that came through early Monday morning. It was almost perfect. And
it did do a very good job, by the way. I agree.
Yeah, better than the HRRR, and really gave you an idea of what to expect on Sunday. And it was perfect. I said 4 to 6 a.m. on my Facebook page, and it's exactly what we saw. 4 a.m. and marching across the immediate tri-state area at 5, and then out by 6. it was just a perfect setup. And
Here's WPC, because I know you like WPC's rain map, and actually so do I. They do a really good job, but this is one of those instances since the system for Friday and Saturday comes almost right. It comes right in the middle of their forecast period.
Right.
It's very clean. It's one system we're dealing with in the next 6 days.
Right.
So all of this rain is being caused by the same storm. We don't have two systems at once. It's a lot of rain for the eastern half of the United States. We get 2 inches plus with this, if WPC is correct.
Well, I told my wife, who usually by this time my wife has already been well into her gardening, and I told her this morning, I said, if you want to do your fertilizing or your putting down of your lime or whatever like that, which always must be done before the rain arrives, tomorrow's going to be the day, because after that...
So she'll be out there with the tractor.
No, I'm usually out there with the tractor, but she's out with her little push cart or whatever, where she fills it up with the fertilizer or the lime or whatever.
Right.
She goes up and down, so she'll be doing that tomorrow, I'm sure.
She doesn't. You don't let her ride the tractor?
The only one who rides the tractor is me.
So you're Oliver to Lisa.
But I don't wear my 3-piece suit while I'm on the tractor.
All right. Well, that's good to know. Nor do you have a chroma key behind you.
Dun-dun-dun-dun.
Is it a Deere?
It is a John Deere, yes.
Oh, well, those are
an L110.
Nice.
For all of you out there who are into this sort of thing. So.
Well,
But I do have to change the oil. Every year at this time I change the oil in the...
and you do that?
And I do that, yes.
Okay, she doesn't do that.
No,
she just she tunes it up and does
I'm sure
and changes the engine and the transmission every once in a while.
I'm sure that if she wanted to do the oil, she could do the oil, but there's something I got to do around the house.
You think? All right. So, by the way, Bob Apple, you just reminded me of something. I did a quick look around on some of the New York stations. My argument since March was the fact that we were going to have a normal-ish type of spring. We weren't going to have an extension of winter. And I did a quick run of the temperatures at some of the New York City stations. 2 to 3 degrees above average so far for the first part of April. Yeah. It's hard, it's kind of hard to grasp that because we've had a number of days where it's been really cold, where the temperatures have been double digits below normal, but much of the time it hasn't been.
Right.
And we've had a few warm days in the mix too, but overall so far we're running about 2 to 3 degrees above normal here in this area covering southeastern New York. Now, it might be different if we go further north in the Hudson Valley. I didn't really check Albany, for example, although I can do that just for laughs.
And I would just want to point out, on Sunday, Easter Sunday, for a lot of people it's an important day, what seems to be happening on Sunday in the aftermath of this mayhem that we're looking at for Friday, Saturday, is a rather large, cool pool of air, Joe, in the upper levels of the atmosphere, very unstable.
Right.
And that may lead to some pop-up instability showers. Not a complete washout on Sunday, but some pop-up showers on Sunday as well.
I agree. So I'm just looking at Albany just real fast. So minus 16, minus 26, minus 22, 19, 12, 5, minus 5, plus 3, minus 2, minus 8, minus 4, plus 12, plus 17, plus 21. Albany's running a degree and a third above normal. Just checking, way up in the Hudson Valley. Poughkeepsie, I don't know if Poughkeepsie, if I can get this. Oh, I can even get Poughkeepsie's. Poughkeepsie minus 14, 8, 17, 12, 5, plus 11, plus 14, 13, 8, 11, 27, 40, 47. Poughkeepsie's running 3 degrees above average. So much of the area is experiencing...
Can you get White Plains on that?
No, I don't think it's on... let me just look at the New York... I don't think the New York office has it.
I don't think the New York office has it either. They used to, but in fact, you used to be able to get... Boston used to have something called 188 cities. And
White Plains is not on here.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. But It's probably safe to say that yeah, everybody's running about 2 to 3 above average for so far for this month of April.
Right.
So if a few people have been complaining about how cold it is, it hasn't been really compared to average. We're running above average.
Right.
There's been volatility in there. That's the thing, and there's always going to be volatility when it comes to temperatures this time of year.
Right. And we've had a few days where temperatures have been up near 80.
Yeah.
So it has been rather warm for this time of the year.
Yes, Jim Dolan's happy that the wind stopped. He says, glad the wind stopped, was thankful I'm overweight. Okay.
What does that have to do with the wind?
Let's not even get into that part
Okay.
that
All right.
conversation. Yes, Kevin Bolger, it's Stereo Joe. They like to call us Stereo Joe. Jeanette Myers saying hi to both of us, Joe C. and Joe R. What are the sources do you get all of your information maps, and is it free? Asked Jim Dolan. Okay, so the maps that you see, the surface maps that we use and the weather models, that's tropicaltidbits.com, which is free. That's Levi Cowan's fantastic site, and I have links on there all over the place on my website, on my app, so you should be able to easily get to it. Tropicaltidbits.com. Not only does he have all the weather models on there, but he's got hurricane stuff. He's just got so much. It's an absolutely wonderful site, and it's totally free. And I'm only more than happy to give him, the open credit because we use his maps all the time. And the rest of the stuff, they're all NOAA sites, and they're all free sites. They're all over the internet, Jim. If you need help finding something, just shoot me a message, and I'll certainly let you know what, try to give you the best answer I can and send you to the right place.
You're thinking back to when we were starting in this business back in the late 70s and how you had to literally pay hundreds of dollars per month to bring the data wires into your office, wherever your office was, or if you cared to your home, to get all of this information. And now all of it is available on the internet for zero, gratis.
Which is great.
So
and we're available gratis.
Yes, we are here.
Oh, Addison Green is on. When can we expect the comedy portion of the show? Dear, sweet, naive Addison. We are the comedy portion of the show.
The comedy portion was this afternoon when I went in to do my afternoon feeds, and I just simply grabbed the jacket and put it on. And in the middle of doing it, I was looking at my pocket here, and I'm saying to myself, I don't recognize this. What is this? I don't remember this handkerchief in this pocket. And it turned out to be Addison's jacket.
Oh, it was?
So I was wearing Addison's jacket.
Oh, it's a good thing you found out in time.
Yeah.
Jesse Chiodo says that you and I are both fabulous.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
It's my hair. My colorist dyes the gray in just perfectly every time. Okay, so look, let's wrap it up here for tonight. Thanks for being here. I know it's kind of an off week. Kids got school off. Some do, some don't. I don't follow the school schedule anymore. Mine are all gone, so I don't have to worry about that sort of stuff. So Joe and I will be back tomorrow night at the same bat time, 9:25ish, right here on the Joe and Joe Show.
Yep.
And
telling you how wonderful the day was. This will be a sneak preview tomorrow. How beautiful it is, and we'll have a better clue and handle as to the atrocity that's heading our way probably for Friday night and early Saturday.
You hope.
Well, we'll see.
Okay, so tomorrow morning you can get your day started with His Eminence, Terrence Cardinal Brian Fitzgerald. He will be on covering things here on FiOS 1 News during the morning hours. And then
Addison Green and Brittany Borrell will be taking over here at the FiOS 1 Weather Department for your midday edification.
And Addison will be wearing his own clothes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And Joe and I will be back tomorrow night on
the Joe and Joe Show. That's my best Don Pardo imitation.
Portions of this program have not been pre-recorded, although we probably should have. All right. Good night. Wait a minute. You go that way.
There we go.
Good night, everybody.
Night, night.
Night, night.